Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to a predictions video about The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 5. And in this video I'm going to talk about what might happen in Episode 5, which I'm sure you know is the final episode in Season 2, which is also why we didn't get a next time on trailer. So usually at the end of an episode we get like a next time on The Walking Dead. We get a bit of a glimpse into what happens in the next episode, so we don't have that in episode 4, obviously, because episode 5 is the final episode, and probably did that to increase the amount of predictions videos like this, and you know, the speculation and everything. But anyway, because we don't have a next time on trailer, we also don't have much to go by, like, to predict things on, apart from the final scene of episode 4 and the choices that we've made in season 2 thus far. So I'm going to start with the final scene of episode 4. So as you'll probably know, we met Arvo again, and then got ambushed by his group, who all had like AK-47s and weapons, and it was a bit of a standoff between us and them, like our group and their group, who were in the trees as well, with different characters pointing different guns at each other. And then of course there's Clem in the middle. So this guy, I don't know his name, he's pointing the AK at Luke, who also has an AK, but he's pointing the AK at Arvo, who for what we know doesn't have any guns on him, he's unarmed, so it's kind of a bit of a waste of Luke pointing the AK-47 at Arvo, but Kenny is pointing the gun at the guy who's pointing the AK at Luke. Bonnie is pointing a gun with this girl, so they're doing a bit of a standoff, and vice versa. And then there's Mike with his pistol standing off with a guy who has a shotgun, so that's not a very good situation. Now I think that episode 5 will start off differently depending on whether or not we chose to shoot Rebecca, because if we shot Rebecca then Kenny will still be aiming at the Russian dude when he opens fire. Either way he opens fire on the group, so if we don't shoot Rebecca then Kenny shoots Rebecca instead, of course taking his aim off of the Russian dude who's firing away with his AK. So I think if Kenny gets distracted then Luke might die. I mean, either way, I think Luke might get hit from the AK, but not die if Kenny's still, you know, at least aiming his gun at this guy with the AK-47. Bonnie and the girl, I'm not too sure what might happen here. I think Bonnie might die in this episode because she doesn't seem to have much of a big role in the game, to be honest. I mean, she might do, you might think otherwise, but I don't think she does. I mean, along with Mike, who also might die in the fight, of course, because he's facing, like, a big-ass shotgun, so that's not good. And then Clementine, of course, she's the main character, so she can't die here. I mean, she could get injured, but I also doubt that too. Also, if we don't actually make a choice, then Bonnie gets distracted, and she, you know, might get shot by the AK-47 and get killed in the gunfight that will ensue. Now, if you remember, one of the choices we made in episode 4 was to either steal medicine from Arvo or not. I think this decision might come in play after the fight, so if we stole the medicine, and depending on whether or not we shot Rebecca, then we might have to decide on who to give the medicines to, such as, if Kenny or Luke gets shot, then we might have to decide, do we give Kenny the medicine or Luke the medicine? But of course, if Kenny doesn't get distracted by shooting Rebecca, then we might only have to just give the medicines to Luke. And of course, if we didn't steal the medicine, then Arvo might give us the medicine, like out of kindness or something, who knows? But I think we also might need the medicines to give them to Krista. Of course, if you remember, right at the beginning of this season, one of the first choices we made was whether or not to save Krista. And if we saved Krista, I think we might come across her, like, as to find her with Arvo's group, so we might decide to give Luke, Kenny or Krista the medicine. If we didn't save Krista, then I think she might still be in Arvo's group alive, as I know some choices in the game don't really make a difference. Or we might just see her zombie, or something like that, on the floor, you know, or walking about. But I do think that she might be in Arvo's group. So, after the immediate gunfight is over, we then might get taken to Arvo's group, or Arvo might just join our group and take us to their hideout or something. Or we just continue into the town, but like I said, we have no idea what might happen during the episode. We can only guess what might immediately happen. I remember in episode 4, like right at the beginning of the episode, I chopped Sarita's arm off in episode 3, and everyone had like their theories whether she'd survive or not, like if you chop the arm off then she survives, etc, etc, but I chopped the arm off and like right at the beginning of episode 4, like boom, she immediately got like bitten by like 2 other zombies, and I was like, whoa, that was quick, that was a quick kill off, so I think that might happen again in episode 5, like where Bonnie might get immediately shot or something. Now, of course, we all might be wondering about Jane. She ran off in episode 4, so we might meet her again, one way or another, like dead or alive. We also made a choice in episode 4 whether or not to take the shiv. I think it was a shiv that she gave us. Even though it wasn't what I call a main choice, as it wasn't listed in the player's choice menu. But I think this might decide whether she's still alive or not. Like, if we decline to take the shiv, then she might live, as it could sort of save her life. She could say how it saved her life in a situation or something. But if we do take the shiv, then I think it might help us in episode 5, like to open a supply box or a building or something to help the group. Like, if Kenny gets shot and you need medicine but you can't get in a building, if we do have the shiv, then we could get in that building quickly. So there are actually some achievements which are available on the wiki, and The Turning Dead has actually done a fantastic video on the achievement breakdowns, and I noticed that one of the achievements in his video actually says hit the road again, whereas on the wiki it says made your way through. So this kind of leads me to believe, again with my other theory about Clem being, you know, the protector of the baby and raising the baby, and the baby being the character of season 3. I think the episode might end like Clementine hitting the road with the baby, with no one else, because we all know that Clementine has actually been on the road by herself once before at the end of season 1, where she had to go find Krista and Omid. So I think that episode 5 might end, you know, with Clementine hitting the road with the baby. This would also reinforce the title of the episode, No Going Back, and the title of the achievement, so like Clementine on the road, you know, no going back, no going back. Also, if you remember, Jane gave us this little piece of advice.
Listen, when the shit hits the fan, 'cause it always does, remember that you can make it on your own. It's not an option for everyone. If things start heading south, don't let them drag you down with them. You don't owe them anything. They'll make you feel like you do, like it's all one happy family. And when push comes to shove, you'll see.
So yeah, that's why I think Clementine hits the road on her own with the baby. But like I said, it is just ideas and imagination really about what's going to happen during the episode. I mean, I read a few comments, and I know quite a few people were talking about Lily from season 1, how she might make a return in the RV and whatnot. But I somehow don't really think so. So that's about it for my predictions. I mean, I may have missed some choices and some small details, but I think I covered the main parts. Season 3 is confirmed, so could have a bunch of other ideas about that, but that's like a whole different video and conversation. Mostly who will be the main character, like season 1 was Lee and season 2 is Clem. I think season 3 will be a new character because of that, like, you know, season 1 Lee and season 2 Clem. I know some people say it's the baby. I can actually imagine that, like Clem being left with the baby at the end of episode 5 and the baby growing up to be the main character of season 3 and Clem being a secondary character, and Clem might die in season 3, but you know, who knows, Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know your ideas and predictions in the comments for episode 5 or even season 3, as it's actually quite interesting when you guys, you know, what you guys come up with. So anyway, episode 5 I think will be released about 23rd of September, because there's usually a 2-month wait for each episode. So anyway, that's it. That's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.